Okay, so today's session is going to be about virtual reality and how virtual reality is being used in astronomy. And I think we have a lot of astronomy lovers today with the session. So I'm going to explore this subject in that format. Uh, yeah. So I'll try to make it a free flow session, which means if you have any questions, any queries, you can also ask them here as well. Just unmute yourself and should be able to ask. So let me know whenever we need to start.
Yes, sir. So I guess we should start now because already 100 participants are there.
Yep. So yeah, we can.
Yeah, so good evening to all of you. Today, on behalf of Astronomy Astronomy Club and Cummins College of Engineering, I welcome you all to this session on AR, VR, and astronomy. Virtual reality and augmented reality allows us to explore incredible places and experience amazing things in an immersive way. You can explore the International Space Station as you walk around it, interact with equipment inside, and find out more about how astronauts live in space. Or maybe you want to explore Diamond Light Source, a particle collider based in the UK, which is normally inaccessible to the public. Augmented reality allows you to see virtual 3D objects in the real world, just like the popular Pokemon Go. You can explore planets in our solar system, black holes, supernovae, and much more, which appears on the table right in front of you. Joining us today is the most talented and an amazing visionary, XR specialist and founder of India, XRDI. He has represented Indian XR ecosystem on international platforms like Global Entrepreneur Week USA, World Leader Summit, and TIE Global Summit in the year 2020. Today, he'll be talking about extended reality, consisting augmented, virtual, and mixed reality. These are technologies that integrate virtual and real world components. He will also talk about its application, its use in astronomy, and career in XR. Let's welcome Avid Vivedi. Sir, it's good to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for this amazing introduction. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to do this. So let me just start sharing my screen. So if you want to see my screen, what you can do is you can find my name. It's Avi Dwivedi, and make sure you hit that pin button. So whenever you hit that pin button, I'll go full screen in your mobile or laptop devices, wherever you are listening me at, and I'll go live there. So please make sure you do that. And yeah, we are then good to go once you are done with that. And also people who are watching us on YouTube, you guys are also welcome, and we are hoping to do this interactive session, so you can also post your comments on YouTube, and I'll be able to take them. So I'm going to now start my screen share. So from now on, you will be able to see my screen if you zoom it for sure. If you pin it, let me also check a setting in this, so that I make sure I'm streaming HD video and not 360p quality video. So yeah, I think my screen resolution is 720 at least. So you guys can watch me in SD. So that should work. And yeah, so I'm going to present this. Okay, so we are going to talk about uh, augmented reality and virtual reality in astronomy. And Yeah, this is a pretty cool image of somebody using a virtual reality headgear. It's a very good one, and they are also using some special kind of gloves with a lot of wires. And this headset, as you can clearly see, is made by NASA. So which headset is it? It's actually was created in 1995. So NASA is doing their research with the virtual reality since that long. So let me uh, talk to you about who I am. Though I got a very great introduction, still I would like to mention that I'm running a community called XRDI, and XRDI is basically India's largest extended reality community. What is extended reality? We are going to learn in further slides. Untitled Studio is another one of my company which is into virtual reality and augmented reality services. We don't need to talk about that. So I've been part of several national and international events. I was very lucky that I was part of Thai Global Summit. I was part of World Leader Summit. I got chance to spoke at Global Entrepreneur Week USA, and I did a COVID fundraiser with my friends Nikhil Malankar and Vaibhav Chavan. They are very good gaming industry. In gaming industry, everybody know them. So yeah, it's my honor to host a show with them. Um, Also, we did a lot of webinars at several places, 20 plus universities, including IITs, IIMs, and a lot of other colleges where we also wrote some of the virtual reality courses for them, the curriculum for virtual reality. XR industry, when I talk about XR, means extended reality. What does it really mean? So you might have heard of a lot of terms like VR, AR, MR, and XR. So X is basically a number. X is basically an alphabet which here could be replaced with any other like V or A or M or even C. CR is cinematic reality. So extended reality means XR is basically the hub, the very umbrella term in which all these technology falls in. So you guys are familiar with astronomy. So similarly in astronomy there is a lot of things like there is exoplanet and exoterrestrial activity, and there is another branch of astronomy which is astrobiology. There's another branch of astronomy which is astrochemistry, and so on. And so even in astronomy there are several branches. Similarly in XR there are several other branches like VR, AR, MR, and there is a 360-degree capture, which is also there is another one called volumetric capture technologies, and so on. So there are several sub branches of this. XR means extended reality. So to understand extended reality or virtual reality, I would like you to understand first what is digital and what is virtual. I did this session a lot of times, so the people who are watching on YouTube, they might find it a little repetitive, but it is uh, very interesting to understand at the first place, I would say. So if I talk about digital, what is digital? So anything which is not physical and made of digits is actually digital. So you might argue that why then what is virtual and what is the difference between digital and virtual? Because anything which is not physical is also referred as virtual. Especially in 2020 we are doing a lot of virtual meetups and so on. So virtual is digital actually, but there's just one minor difference. Virtual is meant to be understood by humans. So whenever an information is presented in form of digital bits and bytes, but cannot be understood by humans, like it's a digital data, so that is basically the digital. The humans cannot understand bits and bytes, zeros and ones, but humans can understand an image which is created by those bits and bytes, those data. That's what we can understand. To show the demo of what I just said, let me show you another image. So this is one image. I open it here, and it is a virtual image. Okay, why? Because human can make a sense of this image that there's a girl and she's wearing a headset. Okay, I saw an image and I understood it. But if I try to open this image in Notepad, okay, so now what is this? This is gibberish. This is the same image. On one hand I opened it on this image explorer or image tool, which basically opens image, and on the other hand I open it as a text file. So it's the same information represented in two different formats. So it's actually not zeros and ones. Actually, it's actually zeros and ones, but your text editor, which is the Notepad, is trying to understood as the text, which is the human text, like A, B, C, E, F, G. So this is why these zeros and ones are not making any sense, and it's just trying to show it, convert it into ABCs and so on. So it's converting something gibberish. It's not even that, right? So it's trying to it's expecting the ASCII code but not getting that, but it's zeros and ones, and this one is zeros and ones again, but for humans. So this is the visual one, the picture one is the visual one, and this textual one is the digital one. This is the basic difference between what is virtual and what is digital. So this is why now you understand that why there are two separate terms. Okay, so now let's understand virtual simulation. Whenever we try to create a simulation, by that we meant that there's a physical phenomena and we have to replicate that into a virtual phenomena, which means we have to construct the entire world, a real world problem. We have to construct that problem into a virtual simulator. Okay, so it could be any problem, like for example you saw a physical phenomena which is like rain happening, and you created a video or anything which in which the rain is there. Okay, so in that condition, that video is being called as a virtual simulation, because it's expressing something which is very physical. All right, so now let's talk about what is virtual reality. So once you understand there's a physical phenomena and then you try to convert it into virtual simulation, you create a simulation out of that. Now virtual reality comes in picture when you also try to put a human inside your virtual simulation. So whatever the virtual simulation you have constructed, if you try to put a human inside that, an observer inside that, that becomes a virtual reality. Okay, so now we also, let's try to understand virtual reality as this way. Okay, virtual reality is basically the way of hacking human senses. Okay, so whenever a virtual in my clubhouse profile it says perception hacker. The perception hacker is actually means whatever the perception you have, whatever the sensations you have from your physical senses, my job is to hack them. How do we hack them? In your eyes we send a fake data which is not actually real, which is virtual. We send a fake data. In your ears we also send some fake noises, which noises are not coming from the real world, which are coming from this virtually constructed world. And uh, similarly we can also hack the touch sensation, the feeling sensation, and nearby noises and nearby fragrances. All these sort of things are being hacked. So even the very motion of even the very notion of movement is being hacked. So that's how we basically, the very idea is to uh, whoever is in virtual reality should not be able to feel the difference between what's real and what's not. So that is the goal of virtual reality, which we try to achieve whenever we study virtual reality. So now what is augmented reality? On one hand, virtual reality has a goal of putting a person inside a simulation. Augmented reality has a completely opposite goal of putting out some of the simulation elements, like objects from that simulation, into real world. So that is the very goal of augmented reality. So whenever we try to um, extract some of the virtual elements from a virtual simulation and paste it, or you can also say overlay it on top of the real scenario, real world, that is called as augmented reality. Now what you may ask, this term is getting a lot popular these days, mixed reality. What is mixed reality? So mixed reality is not very special thing. It's basically augmented reality, but it's put it on your heads. So in 2017, actually, Microsoft came up with this device called HoloLens, and in HoloLens, what they did is basically HoloLens was augmented reality, but put it mounted on your head. So uh, that becomes a non-handheld device like iPad or iPhone, and became a headset, mixed reality headset. So they came up with a term called mixed reality. Now, what is virtual haptics? Virtual haptics is basically, as I said, the very sensation. These virtual objects has no physical boundaries, right? So, for example, if you look at a table and put your hand on top of a table, your hand will be stopped by that table. You will not be able to go your hand pass through the table. You are not going to achieve quantum tunneling by doing that, right? It's not possible at your scale, right? So now virtual haptics is basically the very science of giving you the sensation that some boundary is there and you should not be able to cross that, right? In haptics we also simulate a lot of other things like sensations. We also simulate sometimes fluid dynamics like viscosity, and the weight, the gravity, various kind of other forces. All these are part of haptic simulations and things like that. So we build a haptic map, and there's a whole science. Now let's talk about spatial audio. So spatial audio, if you have ever heard of A.R. Rahman movies, it's basically spatial audio. It's the surround sound, what you call, right? So in spatial audio, the goal is, suppose if the virtual target is standing at the right 30 degree and far at 5 meters, so whenever I heard the sound, I should be able to point at that particular virtual object. So it should feel like that the sound is coming from that virtual object source, right? So that is the very goal of spatial audio. So you should be able to localize the very point from the voice is coming, from the sound is coming. Then location based AR, how we can take advantage of the location of very user. So, for example, if you are living in Lucknow and there's a good weather in Lucknow, or maybe there is raining in Lucknow, so we should be able to make use of this very information and change our simulation based on that. So, for example, if raining is outside and in your headset, you wear your headset, there's raining. So you'll feel it that more realistic, and you'll also relate to it. So virtual reality industry is huge. It's in 2018, the industry size in terms of money was $21 billion. 2019 it became grew a few, you can say, times, and it became $32 billion. In 2021, it is right now expected to be $121 billion industry. And this report is by PwC, and they predicted that by the year 2030, the market is expected to grow by $1.5 trillion, and it is a huge. It's even more than a lot of countries. So it's a huge market size. It's a huge market potential, and you'll ask that what kind of sector this market is in. So is it only related to gaming? No, it's not actually. Yes, it is true that 75% of virtual reality is actually for gaming, but there's also entertainment, there's also movie production, there's also dance, art, social interactions, journalism. I know a friend who's doing journalism in virtual reality, scientific simulations. I did a lot of scientific simulations, space and astrophysics, which we will explore here, military trainings, education, business presentation, marketing, and healthcare. I also did a lot of work in healthcare. So yeah, so these you may ask yourself that, okay, these are so many things at once. How one tool, which is virtual reality, is powering these many systems? So I'll 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 suggest you to rethink about what virtual reality is. It's not actually a tool, it's a medium. I'll try to make a picture of this scenario that in the early days the radio was a medium. On radio, what kind of things were there? There were news, and there were also some sort of advertisements. There were also some sort of I would say songs or stories and things like that. Then became TV, and what you consume on TV. On TV, there is almost everything. There is you'll say religious content. There is also entertainment. There is also songs and dance and news and things like that. There's also educational content on TV. There is also social education content and social ethics content. So anything could be there on TV as well, right? Then the mobile phones came into a market, and these are the next medium, I would say, on which a lot of people might be listening to this on their mobile phones, because they are the next medium. What you listen on your mobile phones, it's entertainment, it's music, it's sometimes education as well. People are ordering food, and people are ordering vegetable groceries from their phones right now. So why it's possible? Because it's the next medium. Similarly, virtual reality is going to be the next medium. It's not a big deal if in next 2 to 3 years, and I'm not making exaggerating it. It's actually in next 2 to 3 years, you guys might be ordering vegetable from your virtual reality headsets, and might be ordering clothes from your virtual reality headsets. It's going to be very common. So, since we are talking about virtual reality and astrophysics and astronomy, uh, think about this picture. Okay, this was the initial perception that why Earth should not be round. And if you imagine, if you don't know about gravity, imagine if you have no idea about how gravity works, and that was the case in before 300 400 years before Christ. This was the case. So people used to think, so okay, there is so much water. It was not intuitive. Nobody could think of from this picture you can assume that how hard it was to imagine that Earth is spherical and not flat, because wherever you see, whatever observation you make, Earth is flat. And you think like, okay, I don't see a reason why Earth should be a sphere. Then this person came, Aristotle, and he looked at moon. He looked at the Earth's image on moon during the solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. He make this predictions that okay, Earth causes a very circular shadow. So he said the Earth should be a sphere, because only sphere causes circular shadow, no other shape. Okay, no triangle can cause the circular shadow, no hexagon could cause a circular shadow, and no flat land could cause a circular shadow. Earth should be a sphere because it caused circular shadow. So it's his genius that he figured it out. Otherwise, if we go on intuition, was never possible for humanity to understand that okay, this is the wrong picture, and it could not help. Similarly, look at this one. Okay, this is the solar system. Can anyone point what is wrong with this?
So Earth and Sun should be interchanged.
Yeah, so the thing wrong with this solar system is basically the Earth is in the center. Now you can uh, correct me in within a second. If I say the Earth is in the center, now you can correct me within a second, because you know now it's a common knowledge that it is not. But if we look at the observations people were making at that time, the general observation was that the sun rises and Earth stays still, and all the other planets were moving around Earth. So we are the center, we are the very center of our solar system, and not just the solar system, we are the very center of our universe, because everything revolves around us, right? So then this man Galileo said no, it is not true, and he people burned him. That is a long story, but yeah. So based on observations we make our assumptions, and based on assumptions we further develop our thinking. So imagine now, what is a future of children who can hold entire sun in their hands, right? The Mercury, the sun. Now, and they can sort of put a sun and put Mercury there, and one planet is in orbit, and then put one more card, for example Venus, and the second planet is in orbit. Keep adding the cards, and then there is Earth in the orbit. So imagine the kind of intuitive observations now we are going to give to this generation. They just know that Earth is not in the center, because for them this is the correct model, because they have seen it, right? It's they can hold the model in their hands. They know that okay, this one makes more sense. No matter whatever we observe from the physical reality, from this virtual reality, whatever we are experiencing also makes sense, right? So this is augmented reality example of solar system, and this is basically the very first thing we learn to build in our virtual reality augmented reality experiments. Imagine people holding suns and these lunar objects and these planets, right? So yeah, and why just big things? uh, the quantum physics is the most unintuitive thing to wrap your heads around, right? So imagine if you can build models related to quantum tunneling, and build models related to things like quantum entanglement, and then you show it to someone and they feel like, oh, it's natural. And people actually did that. I know, I heard a TED talk, and they made a game through which people were solving the quantum physics problems, and they didn't even know that they was doing that. They created a game and then handled a lot of problematic quantum physics problem to people, and that they played it like a game. And that happens when you create your game with your own rules, game theory. Okay, so these are the very first applications which somebody creates if he's working in. Okay, so now this one is from National Geographic. They built a documentary. They actually created this sort of helmet for them, and in which you can experience what is there, what it feels like to be in space, right? So this is actually the company called Tomorrow Labs which built that helmet. This gives you an idea of how it feels like being at empty locations, of space and everything. Now this is again from Chandra X-ray Observatory, and this is at NASA. So this is a dead star. This is a supernova, and you can hold a supernova in your hands. So I'll try to go on that link. This is a complete article I have it attached here, and in this they talk about how they they created. So basically, augmented reality and virtual reality are the tools to uh, give you to visualize the data, right? So whatever the data is there, whatever the data we are, doesn't matter the data is coming from the stock market, or is it coming from stars far far away. So if you are getting any data, it's cool to represent that data into a more visual format, and that's what they did with this. So they created this supernova simulation, and then they created the entire room where you can play around with this simulation, and take the simulation in your hand and rotate it and look. Imagine this data is massive. It's a supernova. Supernova means dying star, which grows in size. So it's a star which also grows in size, right? So it's a huge data, and you can play with that like it's a tennis ball. And I'll try to find the section where they were demonstrating about this. I think my internet is not. that fast today. Mm, where are you? So this is the whole. I'll have linked the project. So they have created the whole documentary around that, and there's a talk related to it. That how they did that and what other things to care about. But here you can see what happens when somebody tries to sort of visualize things. So virtual reality is for visualization of any sort of data, whatever the kind of data you have, you can visualize it with VR. So I don't have the, I took the snapshot, but I don't have the exact point that where this snapshot came from. So okay, no worries. What you can do with virtual reality. So I'll do this on my headset as well. But with virtual reality, he's a friend, Natty, and Natty is right now visualizing how it's they to go there at International Space Station and sort of do the job of an astronaut, being an amateur. Of course, you're never, there's no chance you get that job too done, but with the power of virtual reality you can be out there at the International Space Station. And this model of a space station is very accurate. Even I know a lot of even NASA and a lot of other agencies has built their ISS models and made it available for public to sort of take a tour of that inside virtual reality. So maybe you cannot afford the ticket to actually go to ISS, and when the obviously when the residential trips are on, but still you can visualize that, and how catastrophic it is to see and have an accident or something like that. You can even visualize that. So is at ISS he also did a one accident sequence or something like that. So it's a very cool thing to imagine and play around. So I played a lot of these. Once again, okay, don't go live. Hold on. Okay. Now in this one, you basically this is from yeah, this is a rover, and this is not a yeah usually a simulator which is related to a rover, but here you will see the NASA's.
Climbing on the handrail.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I want to go.
So NASA built this virtual reality system, and they have this system installed since 2010. These systems are basically teaching astronauts how to work on things like changing the batteries at different modules of ISS and things like that. So you get your hands in virtual reality, you get your head in virtual reality, and this is I think the Joseph Space Center at Houston, and they also have this thing called the entire ISS in a swimming pool, which they call neutral buoyancy lab. So they, at the same place they have this virtual reality system installed. So I'm going to give you a demo of again another video of how in virtual reality people interact with each other. And what is this? Start new session, don't go live. Let's know what is wrong with that. I have never dealt with that screen. No worries. Okay, no worries. So in this one,
What if there was a better way to
this is one of my
collaborate?
favorite tools
A
inside
better way to
virtual
build
reality, and the
and work
reason
together?
is you can connect with people.
A way that brought us
You
closer,
can
as if we were
create your
sitting
own
next to each
avatar,
other,
and then you can
face to
meet people
face.
inside virtual reality. And not just that, they can
What
contribute
if
in
our
your work. So
creativity
whatever
could
the way
burst to
you use
life
your
in the
desktop,
space around
you can
us?
also integrate your files,
Spatial is
your
a
work,
collective
your 3D
computing
models or
environment
whatever is there,
that lets
so
teams
that you
visualize
can
their
connect
thoughts in
with
the moment
people
they're
and
in.
interact as if they are there in your same
So
space.
whether you're on
And
a
then
desktop
you
computer
can sort of collaborate with them, schedule meetings with them, and make your own changes, or collaborate in several ways. So it's a very cool new fun way, and this is one of my favorite tools which I use regularly in virtual reality. So this is basically how the world is changing, and then every field of technology, every field of science, every field of education is changing with virtual reality. Imagine sitting on surface of Mars and you can simply do that. uh, so this is the perseverance, and you can uh, even perseverance has a 360 camera. So when you have a 360 camera, what you can do basically is get the data out of the 360 camera and submerge yourself inside virtual reality with that data. So this is one of the documentaries called Overview, and Overview is basically the philosophical way of how virtual reality is being used inside in astrophysics. So yeah, this is you can say philosophy of astrophysics and virtual reality, but it's a sort of a cross section of every single thing. So again, lastly, would love to show, since I said the virtual reality is, or augmented reality is the way how you visualize your data.
Today is
So
4th
here is
August
I tried
2020.
to visualize a lot of data. I do
261
a lot of
days and
medical
18
simulations
million
as well. I did a lot of solar systems and things like that
459,789
as well. But
people so
this
far
one is
infected,
specific to COVID.
834 deaths so
So here
far.
is the whole chart of
India has a
COVID
total
and
of
how on based on geography the numbers are there. You
1,million,855,351
can
cases.
tap on any
Maharashtra
geographic
has
location and you'll get all the data related to that. You'll
450,196
get all the
confirmed.
bar charts and everything like that. You'll also get the all the latest details news about that, so that we can stop the fake news. The videos are there to educate people from
In December
very valid
2019,
resources. So it's basically the COVID guide. And yeah, so I do several other things as well, like Instagram filters and things like that. But yeah, so how do you start with virtual reality? Or if you like this talk sort of, so how you can make your own career in virtual reality, or blend you whatever you do with virtual reality is the best way to go. So let me tell you, whatever the career or things skill you have, whether it's art design. So on the left hand I have the career which are very cliche for virtual reality, like an artist, designer, storyteller, optimization engineer, gameplay programmer, graphic programmer, and animator. These are virtual reality pro people. Means if you have any one of these skills, you'll get no problem getting into virtual reality. But even if you have some different skills or whatever other skills like journalism, if you are an influencer, if you are a photogrammetry artist, if you are educator, if you are a dancer, if you are 360 movie production, or any kind of movie production, or social platform, or community manager, or anything like that. So even that you have an opportunity to transform whatever the skill you have with virtual reality. So I've seen people in all these domains and on in doing tremendous job with virtual reality. I know I did a podcast with an astronaut, aspiring astronaut, and he explained me that how augmented reality is playing a role in the learning of astronauts, the training of people who are aspiring to become an astronaut. So that all these those sort of podcasts, all those sort of experiences from people who are in virtual reality industry for decades are there on my channel called XRDI, and a lot of people might be listening to this on XRDI YouTube itself. So on this YouTube channel you will find a lot of playlists, and that is the best place to start with virtual reality. The masterclass I provided is a very unique kind of content, because it focuses on a lot of theories related to virtual reality, and how to think when you are starting with virtual reality. So that is a 7-day course you guys must check out, and then the other one is podcast. So then here are my links. I'll share you the PDF. I'll share the PDF with Akansha, and she'll be able to share this with all the other people who are listening to it. So Now, if you have any questions, please throw them, and would love to talk to you about did you like the session, and then what are the parts which you want to ask me about. Yeah, anyone listening? Any questions? Do we got? Let me just check the YouTube. Do you use Euphoria? So Euphoria is a pretty old technology. If you uh, Euphoria basically gives you the ability to detect patterns and images. So that sort of computer vision. So if you can detect patterns, then you can localize those patterns, and then you can project whatever you want to project on top of those existing images or patterns. So if you require that kind of work, you use Euphoria. So of course, I have used it in 2015. Yeah, it was a popular tool. Yeah, guys, any other questions? What engine is the best for AR and VR? Both Unity and Unreal both have their specific domains in virtual reality and augmented reality. With Unreal, you'll get a lot of tools. With Unity, you will get a lot of great tools. Unity has, I can remind you about the AR Foundation. Unity is best for cross-platform targeting. So if you, yeah, can we relate this to Byju's learn? No, of course not. I don't think we can relate it to Byju's learning platform. It is better for beginners. Actually, if you are an artist, you will find it easy to start with Unreal, and if you are very familiar with programming, you will find it easy to start with Unity. So, if whoever wants to start with virtual reality technology, I recommend them my 7-day series, which is available for free on XRDI's YouTube channel. So there you can make your start. So, what course should do make career in this field? Okay, do. So in this field, there are no professional courses, I would say, but still there are courses which help. For example, if you do a design course, that will help you to design more realistic and artistic work inside virtual reality. If you do a image processing course, that will help you to design better systems and more accurate, more engineered way to understand the reality, to help you with augmented reality. If you understand more of AI or more of parallel processing, then you will also be very useful in virtual reality community. If you can understand simple game programming or things like that, even then you can be as a virtual reality graph engineer or things like that. So there's a lot of courses directly not coming from virtual reality, but you can there are few courses on VR virtual reality university from London. Yeah, you can, yeah, you can opt for that courses for sure. I have not checked them out, but I think you can do that. And also my one is also very good one. You guys can also consider that, but if that is for you, that is free and that is available on Coursera. So yeah, then you can also opt for that. So I can also recommend you some good places to learn. That one of my friend is Ritesh Kanji, and if you he's a South African Indian boy, and if you want to learn more about augmented reality and AI, that is the best guy to start with. If you are more interested in virtual reality and mixed reality stuff, you can check the channel of Dinesh Puni. These two are the guests of my podcast, and very good friends, and these are the best people who are teaching about VR and AR, and I'm also teaching a lot of sessions on. Could you elaborate on astrophysics you mentioned before? So, any specific questions about astrophysics? I'll try to answer them. elaborate space and astrophysics that you mentioned before. So what I need to elaborate about space and astrophysics? Any specific question? Nancy is asking what comes under this space. Okay, yeah. So there are, I believe, 2 or 3 ways in astrophysics how virtual reality is being used, but you can also make your own use cases anytime. Okay, so let me tell them. Where I have seen use of virtual reality and astrophysics the most is education. As I already said, the very first tool what we create in virtual reality is basically the solar system. Okay, and I'm also going to give you a demo of that. So that is one thing, the solar system. A lot of people are creating this uh, for the junior kids and kids level studies. The second thing I suggest what people are creating is for higher level research. Like I showed you an example of that Death Star. So that Death Star is Cas A. That is a supernova, and that is being rendered in virtual reality so that you can examine it better and do a lot of related simulations. For example, changing the mass of that star and seeing that now how it will die and things like that. Okay, so you can do mathematical simulations on virtual reality, things like that. So like a universe sandbox thing. And the third way I have seen using it is philosophical and I'll say science communication way. So as already showed you a documentary where people were talking about how uh, understanding the universe give you a more deeper perspective of your personal reality at the same, because you are nothing but a universe trying to understand itself. So Overview is the name of the philosophical documentary, which talks about astrophysics and then tell you a great insight of how humanity works at the first place. So these philosophical perspectives are there. So documentaries, educational content, and research based content are 3 ways I've seen VR being used extensively. Now, can we do VR in how? Of course, in astrophysics, we can also use VR in star constellation. So yeah, we can do that. Um, okay, thank you. Yeah, and I also said, for example, imagining things which are not huge. For example, we can there is no way you can tell a student that how electron revolves around an atom. So right now, if I search about an atom, I'll get these sort of pictures. Hold on, images. Okay, I'll get this sort of picture. And you guys are from astronomic community and you know this picture is completely wrong. This is not how electrons moves around an atom, right? So this is not the picture a kid should learn about electron. But again, this is sort of the very problem of abstraction, that how much is again, we even the best physicist in the world does not understand how this actually works. But still, there is something called electron probability cloud. Okay, so we took pictures of that and it looks something like this. Yeah, this is a proton and then this is electron. So this sort of picture should be there in the textbooks, like uh, but again, it's very hard to make students understand things like probability cloud and wave function collapse. So this is why we teach them the simpler way. So yeah, we can make quantum physics more intuitive if we go more visual. The more visual we'll go, and that is the very, I mean, when you look at a graph and when you look at just dull numbers. There's no meaning to them. But when you plot those numbers in a graph, you see patterns and you start seeing things. Then it becomes more intuitive. Then you make your reasonings. Then you test your reasonings with experimenting, and that's how you come up with different knowledge or different, I would say, conclusions. So I think VR would make that very, very easy. What do you think about mobile VR? Can it compare with standalone headset like? So mobile VR is an older technology, and the idea is to we can leverage more and more from I would say in the less amount of spendings and cost. But now virtual reality is getting much more cheaper. So now you can purchase a virtual reality headset in India in less than 40,000 rupees and around 40,000 rupees. So previously, I remember in 2017, a single system, virtual reality system, used to cost me around 3 lakh to 5 lakh rupees. So now it's getting much more cheaper and accessible, and also it's less than a gaming laptop cost, so you can probably do the investment in that. So if I talk why I don't promote that much of mobile experience in virtual reality, is the reason is it ruins the experiences. So with mobile you have very lack of interaction. It's more like it will feel like for example, you are looking at a video in your phone, but you have to put your phone on your eyes, so that it becomes more of a work to do, and in return the benefit you will get is very, very less, because you are not able to interact with the content in a proper manner. The very advantage of interacting with the content whatever the way you like is only provided with these headsets like Oculus, like Rift, and like Vive. So there you'll get the difference, and that is why I don't promote mobile VR that much. Yeah. So any other question, guys? What's a tool quite expensive for me? It is expensive for middle class. Okay, yeah, I can understand it is. But if you are earning for that, you'll find it very helpful. If you are not earning for that, if you just want to buy it like an accessory, like an iPhone, don't buy it. But if you think you can make a career around that, then definitely I would recommend examining blue holes, aliens, etc. There are unlimited ways to use astrophysics. Yeah, of course, there are. Uh, yeah. So I'll try to give you a perspective of how it feels. I'll try to uh, go to ISS, and I'll try to do. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's go to ISS. I have to cast my device. So whatever I am looking at inside the headset will be projected on this screen. So this screen is starting, I would say. Hmm. Yep. So now you can see it better. Hold on. Now you should just focus on that screen. Okay. Yep. Let me put it in the middle. Okay. Now you can see what I am looking at, right? So I am inside virtual reality. You can see I have two controllers, right? Okay, so let me find the very application which I want to connect with, and that is um, ISS. Where is this one? Mission ISS. Yeah. Okay, so there could be a little lag. Oh, not Space Pirates. I don't want that. I clicked on the wrong application. Sorry. I want a different application. I want ISS, not Space Pirate. Space Pirate is a good one though, but not for today. I'm looking for ISS. There are a lot of applications installed in my headset, so hard to find things I want to. Space Explorer. Let me open this one. I'm opening a different space program, and previously I had opened a different one, but yeah, let's see. You can see there are a lot of things I can do. Let me choose this one. So I'm going to go teleport inside International Space Station, and I'm going to give you guys a tour of that. Okay, let's play it.
I woke up on the first morning on space station, not quite knowing where I was, but I was floating, and I thought I had this dream, and I realized, no, that dream was
I
reality.
can
I just
look
launched to space
around
today
wherever
before.
I want to.
I didn't eat a lot of coffee that morning.
Adapting to life in space. It's been a process. Got here initially, I was crashing everywhere. I was losing everything because everything floats away from you if you don't put it in your pocket or use Velcro to tie down or maybe an elastic bungee. And I was looking at our colleagues who have been here several months, wondering how can they be so efficient and so in control of their movements. Well,
So
lo and
I'm now,
behold,
right now meeting the
after a couple of
crew.
weeks, I became myself, found myself surprisingly to be very efficient now. Moving around, so your body can adapt to strange environments of microgravity.
So you can see this video is being shot at
For thousands and thousands of
International
years,
Space
humans have
Station.
lived with gravity. We live
So
our
that is
entire
how
lives
astronauts get
feeling
their
gravity. All of our
training,
systems are functioning in
and it is
gravity.
very important for them to
Working out in space is very
work
important.
out
We actually call exercise
because your muscle
countermeasures
loses the
because we are
mass very
countering
fast in
the
space
effects of
because
microgravity
they
on our
don't get
bodies.
to work.
When astronauts first started flying long-duration missions, astronauts were losing the same amount of bone density in a month that an osteoporotic 80-year-old woman was losing in a year. And we had to come up with a countermeasure. We talk about the International Space Station as a proving ground for future deep space exploration. Now, imagine if we had skipped this proving ground, we sent people to
Okay, so I have one more. I'll try to find that. Okay. Yeah, mission ISS. We are up. Now we are going to space ISS and going to dive deeper into it. Going to explore that in our own ways. So we can also go for a spacewalk, and we have option to explore the ISS from inside. I think let's do both. Why not?
Please select Training,
Either you
Mission,
can
or Explorer
explore,
mode.
in which you'll be able to go out there, and either you can also choose some missions, but I'm going to go explore. So I have some basic controls how you maneuver inside that because of microgravity. The maneuvers are different when you are actually there, but here you do everything with your control in your hands. Okay, yeah, I'm here, and you can see it says exit, but I don't want to exit. You can see we are here. Okay, I can stop here, and I can grab onto something. Okay, I can grab onto something and then I'll be able to stop myself. I can pick or push this parcel or the bag or whatever it is. I can see a laptop here. I can grab onto this laptop even. I can look at what is going on there, what you were trying to create. Okay, no worries. None of my worry. Okay. Here are the exit and here are the space suits. Okay, now you can hold on this back. Okay, now you can see the spacesuits, and there is the exit panel where how you go outside for exploration. We also try to find a very good spot in ISS from where you can also look at the Earth. Yeah, I found it. Look at that. Can you see? Believe it or not, I feel like I am just there. Beneath me is the entire planet. I can see, rotate myself and look through these windows at ISS at whatever you can see the Earth is moving, or basically the ISS is moving 16 times faster than the Earth. You can see another laptop here. You can also unmute yourself and command me to do anything you want. Okay, so I can explore that part of ISS wherever you want me to go or something like that. Okay, so let me also try bringing. Okay, I can go for a spacewalk. Yes, go for a spacewalk. Okay, so we are going to go for a spacewalk, and I hope this spacewalk is going to be adventurous for us. Okay, I'm outside. I'm not wearing spacesuit. I look at that. So okay, why I'm going too far? I don't want to go too far. मैं पकड़े ही रहूंगा. Okay, so now we are here. Can you see? Oh my god. Look at that. We have left the space. This is too fast. Okay. This is scary. You can see so many stars there. I want to see sun if I can see. Oh, this is wrong. The sun is yellow. Sun should not be yellow. When you actually go in space, you'll look at sun and it will look like another star. White. Sun should be white. But in this simulation, the sun is unfortunately yellow. Look at that. It's so scary. And you disoriented yourself in so many ways. I'm going to fall to ISS for sure. Let me go there. You can assume the actual height or actual size of ISS. Imagine this. Okay, there is also an antenna. You can see that antenna is sending a lot of communication signals to Earth. Let me go to Earth. And you can see the size is making sense. I have to look at Earth from left far to right far. So I'm going to go crash.
ISS, this is Mission Control, and be careful not to venture too far from the station.
I'm going too far from the station for sure. Okay, look at this. On right, I have entire Earth. On left, I have this ISS. Wow. If I was an astronaut, by now I'll be lost. I am too far. Okay, so what you guys think about? So due to frame rate, you guys must be getting a lot less frame rate. But I hope you guys enjoyed this journey into the interstellar. Not interstellar, actually. That is not that far. Very exciting. So YouTube has 360-degree VR, so people can experience different things. Yes, YouTube has 360 VR. Here also you can experience things like actually going inside a black hole. It would be horrifying if you are scared of, I would say, darkness, but you will enjoy it. And if we create the actual physics accurate simulation of falling into black hole, and you can see the spaghettification of your entire body or things like that, or burning your body through the radiation and things like that, that would be so cool, na? Right. Okay, so I think this is pretty much it for the session. And if you guys have any questions now, then please ask me. Uh, if you don't know about, before we go apart, if you want to learn more about virtual reality, do subscribe to my channel, which is XRDI, Extended Reality Developers of India. And we do crazy stuff related to virtual reality. You guys will love it, and you guys learn more there, right? If you like the session, please comment and let us know that. Yeah, if you have any questions, then I'm here for a couple of minutes. And a lot of messages are there. Amazing. Thanks, guys. I think no question I'm getting now. So Akansha, if you are hearing this, I think we can end this now.
Yes, so the session was very interactive and very interesting. Though the last part was lagging, but then I loved it.
Yeah, actually, I wish everybody could see it with a headset or within virtual reality, because yeah, I know it was lagging, and I wish it was not, but yeah.
Yeah, we wish
From
that
my
we
end,
had a
yeah,
headset.
whatever I was looking at, my headset was crisp, clear, and you sort of discover yourself when you go into space and things like that, because you discover how small you are in comparison to what is there to observe.
Yes. Yeah,
So
so
the session was truly mesmerizing. Even though it was a bit lagging, but it was really clear on the YouTube channel.
Oh, thank you.
if you are going to keep the recording on YouTube, then we'll
Yeah,
go and
YouTube
watch.
recording is there. Also, Akansha, I'll be sharing you the link of the PDF link, which I'll be sharing with you. Okay. So whoever wants to revisit the session, all the links I mentioned are there. Okay. So I have shared in the chat. You guys can, yeah, Code Rumble has shared my masterclass session. So if somebody wants to learn more about virtual reality, at actually doing and something in virtual reality, like I covered three things practically. So for example, creating a game like Beat Saber, creating a solar system, and creating Instagram filters. I covered these three things in that 7-day session, and that 7-day session is also consist of four very in-depth courses about things about how you should think about starting with virtual reality. So thank you guys for hosting me.
Sir, we are extremely thrilled to have you as our guest today, and I hope everyone had a very great time and everyone had a very great experience. And uh, for me, this was the first time that I could experience something like this, and it was truly mesmerizing. I
Thank you.
hope that everyone had the same experience.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of astronomy. So if anybody would love to chat about astronomy or things like that, they can also contact me. And if they have any good astronomical idea to, yeah, work on, they can also contact me. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for hosting me.